Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for the online learning department's welcome back night to get our school year off to a great start. My name is Janae Smith. I'm the Director of Online Learning at Compass Charter Schools. Tonight, we're just going to learn and kind of share, and it'll be a nice refresher for our returning families, some new insight for our new families, all things online learning and what to expect this school year in our online learning department. Okay, so we have a jam-packed agenda tonight. We are going to take a look at just our compass overview, our norms and our Arctic values, and of course our mission and vision. We'll review our online learning program expectations, and then I'll be able to share some information about all of the other supports that your scholar can receive here at Compass and all of the great additional engagement opportunities for your scholars to feel really included and part of our awesome Compass family this school year. At the end, there will be time for question and answer. So save your questions for the end and we'll open up the chat box then, and you'll be able to ask away at the end of this session. So as I'm going over this presentation, if something comes up, jot it down, and then there'll be time at the end to put those questions in the chat box and some Q&A before we move on with our evening. So our mission and our vision at Compass, and especially in our online learning program, is very important to us. And our mission is to inspire, develop, and innovative, creative, self-directed learners, one scholar at a time. One of the great things that we're able to do at Compass and in our online learning department is we are able to really personalize learning for our scholars. We're able to use scholar data to help drive instruction in learning labs and in our synchronous instruction. We're also able to provide opportunity for scholar choice in our online learning program, so they really can have the opportunity to be innovative and to get creative and to demonstrate their learning in a way that helps them just thrive and showcase all of their knowledge and all the great things that they're experiencing. And our vision is to create a collaborative virtual learning community. Some of you who are returning, you'll probably remember last year, so many of our online scholars got to collaborate. They get to work in groups, they get to work with their peers, whether it's building a tiny house virtually in middle school, or looking at a choice board in elementary school, or diving into those IM homes in high school. There's many opportunities for them to collaborate with each other and their teachers. And of course, our Arctic values of achievement, respect, teamwork, integrity, and communication are our values that we hold very dear and near, and we exemplify um, with each other. Our scholars and our teachers make sure that they follow our Arctic values to really ensure that everybody's able to meet their our mission and vision here at Compass. So, like I mentioned, my name is Janae Smith. I'm the Director of Online Learning at Compass Charter Schools. I also have Ms. Jennifer Tatum. She is our online K-8 coordinator, and we are hoping to bring on board our new online high school coordinator within the upcoming weeks. And if you have a high school scholar, you'll be able to meet our online high school coordinator hopefully in the next couple weeks. This is just a brief overview of kind of what it looks like from to begin our online learning program and to navigate some of our online learning waters. And the first thing is that we provide, a robust experience to all of our scholars here at Compass through our asynchronous courses, through Accelerate Education, the educational support that we receive from our academic services department, in addition to our learning labs Q&A sessions that the teachers provide, and one-on-ones and small group learning. We also make sure that we are meeting scholars' learning needs and in our learning labs, and if there's any gaps in skills, we can help to address that there as well. Okay, so we're going to dive a little into just an overview of what to expect in our online learning program and kind of just a refresher for our returning families. So in our online learning program, we use a learning management system, an LMS, for online curriculum, and it's Accelerate Education, and it's for all grades, kindergarten through 12th grades. Unlike distance learning, if some people are coming from another learning platform that used distance learning, that would be you logged in, your scholar logged in and worked from 8 to 10 with one teacher, and then maybe 11 to 1 with another teacher, and got their work done. Then that is distance learning. Here in independent study, the asynchronous courses, those Accelerate Education courses, that is where the majority of the scholars' work is completed. And then we have our learning labs, our live sessions to enhance that learning and increase that skill, that skill capacity that scholars utilize in those asynchronous classes. A couple unique things that we have this year, though, if you're returning in elementary family, our scholars in grades kindergarten through 5th grade in our online elementary program, they receive what we call supplemental curriculum supports, and those are they are supplemental supports that the teachers have found looking at scholar data that will help them increase their learning, whether it's in their courses or in their learning labs. And that looks like, for instance, our first grade insect kit from Lakeshore gets sent to all of our first graders. Our great scholars in grades 2 through 5, they'll be receiving their novel study books that are actual physical paperback books, because we know that sometimes kids in our elementary school, they need a brain break from their screens, and they need to have something that they can actually write and work in. In addition to the Lakeshore and Amazon supplemental kits, our scholars in grades K through 5 also will receive a math and a reading workbook that goes along with the Accelerate Education curriculum. Also, scholars in grades K through 5 will find IXL lessons embedded in their course to help with extra practice in their learning. New this year, we've been able to increase the amount of scholars in our online learning program who can participate in our IXL learning platform to participate in that extra practice within their Accelerate Ed courses. So all of our scholars in our online middle school will have access to IXL to practice additional math lessons and to bridge any skill gaps that we see within their math learning this school year. And then, of course, in our online learning program, like I mentioned, our K-5, they receive those additional supplemental materials. Also, all of our scholars in grades 6 through 12, they will have what we call their homeroom instruction, which is once a week. And it's like a homeroom. This is where we're going to practice those AVID study skills. This is where we're going to get organized, go over the MMU, review things like that. Our middle and high school teachers, they play a dual part. And if you're new to middle school this year or new to high school, you'll notice your in K-5, scholars have their one teacher and then their teacher team that helps support them. But they mostly just have the one go-to teacher. In grades 6 through 12, each scholar has a supervising teacher and will have course content teachers. So their supervising teacher may or may not be their language arts teacher or their math, social studies, science teacher, etc. So let's dive into all the different roles in our online learning program. So the first role, like I mentioned, is the role of the supervising teacher. So in our online learning program, the supervising teacher is your go-to person. And that's a person who by now you've probably already met with and had what we call a pre-meet for your master agreement to review all the expectations in the master agreement. And then that supervising teacher will also schedule your connection meetings each learning period. And learning period is about a month. So about once a month, you'll log into Zoom or Google Meets and have a video conference with your supervising teacher. If your scholar is able to join, that's even better, because our connection meetings are a great opportunity for scholars to showcase their learning. We'll get into that a little bit later. But the supervising teacher also works with the scholars and learning coaches to create goals for the school year, and these can be both personal and academic goals. The supervising teacher helps us host those synchronous live sessions, those homeroom sessions. Can support with the curriculum, can also support with that communication in grades 6 through 12 between the scholars and those content teachers if it's needed. Review academic progress, look at STAR benchmark results, especially in October after those are all completed at the beginning of September. Help maintain scholar records. They're going to be the one hounding you to fill out the activity logs so we can get attendance, and if there's a need for tiered re-engagement, they'll be the one to note to say, hey, how's everything going? I'm seeing that we're missing some pieces here and there. And also review all those things for compliance, such as the master agreement. And the next role is the role of our learning coaches. Those are our parents, those learning coaches, someone who has taken on the role, and thank you for doing that, to help scholars in our online learning program really be successful. They are the eyes on the ground, the person right there who is right by the scholar, and we know can help support and be that that advocate for scholars with their teachers in case they're seeing something on their end that we can't quite see on our end, being an independent study. But the learning coach will meet monthly with the supervising teacher. Make sure to read the Scholar Handbook. It's on our website. It goes into even more details about learning coach responsibilities. Like I said, if you've had your meeting already to review the master agreement, you've looked at those responsibilities on that master agreement. Really, though, in our online learning program, our learning coach is just really that cheerleader on the other end to help motivate scholars, to help support scholars, and help them to create a really rich learning environment free of distractions, so they can be successful. They can also communicate with teachers and counselors, especially each scholar will have a counselor in grades 6 through 12. They work with scholar to create daily, weekly schedules, and that those schedules should include learning labs. However, learning coaches, if you need support in what those schedules look like, your supervising teacher is really that point person who can help you figure out what that schedule looks like and how to leverage that flexibility in our online learning program. And like I mentioned, creates an organized and distraction-free learning environment, and of course can access a lot of our resources on our Learning Coach YouTube channel. And of course, the main player are scholars. We do expect our scholars to attend all of the live sessions that Compass provides. We are independent study. We have a lot of flexibility. However, we know when our scholars, or I should rephrase that, we know scholars who are successful in our online learning program attend their live sessions, communicate regularly with their teachers, and participate in all of the offerings that Compass has, especially in our engagement, our counseling departments, our scholar clubs that we'll look into a little bit later. But all of those great supports that we provide for our scholars, and the scholars who are actively engaged in that, they have shared how much they love our program and have enjoyed all their time at Compass. Also, our online scholars, they are expected to work daily in those Accelerate Education courses. Those are the lessons, that's their schooling, that have you go through the lessons, the modules, and that is the teaching, the bulk of the teaching part of it. And so they are to log in daily, and they're complete submit assignments daily in Accelerate Education. And there's a great place. You can just submit your assignments right there in the system. For a lot of our elementary school scholars, if they do work in their workbooks, they just hold it up in front of the camera on their computer, click the button, automatically submits it for them. It's great. Also, our scholars proactively communicate with Compass staff. They also can create their daily schedule to make sure they get all of their work done. In Accelerate Ed, we have our to-do list that scholars can utilize to make sure they're on track to finish their courses on time. And of course, we expect our scholars to follow our Arctic core values, just like we expect all of our educational partners here at Compass Charters. and that they participate in those internal benchmarks of STAR, CASP, PFT, if those are applicable. The STAR benchmark assessment is really important in that it gives us that information right at the beginning. So teachers know if there's a gap, they can help to address that right away and make sure that scholars can help stay on pace with their peers and make sure that they're not feeling frustrated and that they're having success in their schooling, especially throughout the school year. Okay, an AB 130 reminder. So a couple years ago, California legislation passed legislation AB 130, and the bulk of that is regarding scholar engagement in an independent study learning environment. So just a brief overview of that and just some of those expectations and some changes for this year. We'll just dive into that for a couple minutes. And AB 130, really the main thing it says that that non-classroom based charter schools like us, actually all charter schools, will provide synchronous opportunities for scholars to attend live learning sessions with their teachers. So just a reminder that we do have those live interactions held by all of our Compass staff. So we have synchronous instruction that's provided by the teachers. And then we have our live interaction that is provided by all of our Compass staff. That's our counseling department. That would be those other learning labs that are content-based, virtual scholar clubs, virtual assemblies, virtual scholar workshops, and engagement virtual offerings. Those count as those live interaction. And then we also provide our live interaction, like I mentioned, in our online learning department in those content-based learning labs that, especially in grades 6 through 12, that are in addition to those homeroom sessions once a week. And just a reminder, AB 130 has us, there we go, states that we will provide synchronous instruction. And we say synchronous, that means we're all together live, just like we are now. That will provide that daily for grades TK through 3 in our online program. That's kindergarten through 3rd. We will provide weekly synchronous instruction in grades 4 through 8, and that's on Wednesdays. And then on grades 9 through 12, weekly synchronous instruction, that's called our homerooms instruction, that's done on Wednesdays. And then this year, their learning labs would also count as synchronous instruction if by chance they're not able to make it to homeroom, because we've been able to update that. Any of our Compass teachers can provide that synchronous instruction. It does not necessarily have to be the supervising teacher. Now, the main part of why I want to share this with learning coaches tonight is AB 130 legislation. This reminder is that it says, you know, we want to make sure scholars are engaged in their learning. And so if scholars are not attending 10% of those that instructional time over 4 weeks, or they're not participating in 50% of that live instruction, synchronous instruction, what we are obligated to do is send out launch our tiered re-engagement process. So if you have if your scholar is not attending that, you're going to get an email from the teacher like, hey, what's going on? What can I do to help you guys? What are there some barriers, and what can we do to make sure your scholars engaged and successful? Also, scholars who are not making satisfactory academic progress, they'll also be flagged for what we call our tiered re-engagement. And like I said, that first email is just kind of like, hey, what is happening? Ultimately, through this entire process, we want to have scholars be engaged in their learning. At the end of the day, our main goal is for scholars to be successful. And like I mentioned earlier, we know scholars who are actively engaged and regularly participating in school are very successful in our online learning program. And then just to kind of come to the end of our AB 130 reminders, another indicator is that if scholars are in violation of the written agreement or the master agreement. That's why those meetings that you had with your supervising teacher to review the master agreement are really important. So if you have any questions, you can ask then, or if you need clarification on anything. So everybody is on the same page regarding those expectations. Also this year with that master agreement, we provide a lot of opportunities for scholars to receive support here, especially in our academic services, our scholars who are English language learners, and our scholars with IEPs. We provide those services, and in that that master agreement, we're able to review with our learning coaches the importance of attending those, because we want scholars to be successful, and that's part of that written agreement. And then, of course, we'll do everything we can. We try to take that team approach so we can engage scholars, and so we can help ensure that they are in the right learning environment to find success. Okay, our learning labs. I mentioned this before. One of the great things in our online learning department are those learning labs that use research-based strategies, such as our AVID learning strategies. We have our integrated ELD strategies, and of course, all the great peer group work and collaboration that scholars get to participate in. The fun quizzes, Nearpod. I know a lot of your scholars have participated in those. They're so active and so engaged. I love popping into one of the elementary school learning labs, especially the kindergartners, because they love to have a spot every week where they get to have sharing time, and they get to share all their great things. Lots of times we see live animals, which is super fun. They're sharing their animals and their pets and their family, and we love it. That's all done in our learning labs. And like I said, K-3, those are done daily. In grades 4 through 12, we have our weekly homeroom, plus those learning labs by subject. So there is potentially every day scholars can be attending live with their peers and with their teachers. And then we have what we call our Q&A sessions. So this might look a little different for elementary, middle school, and high school, depending on the scholar population's needs. But what the Q&A sessions do is they provide an opportunity for additional help and support for scholars to access their teachers. One of the great things about being a teacher in an independent study is that our teachers aren't in a classroom all day having to teach lessons like live with scholars. They can work one-on-one. They can work in small group. They can really look and dive into the data to see what scholars are needing in order to help bridge any learning gaps. So these are targeted sessions that support scholars, and scholars can ask specific questions. They can receive individualized instruction. This is a great opportunity for scholars to take advantage of completing their STAR benchmark assessments in those Q&A sessions. And in our online high school, those Q&A sessions are used for the A through G requirements for the major assessments and have their midterm and finals proctored. And then, of course, this provides additional, besides this Q&A session, and we'll hear about this a little bit later. Scholars do have who are in need through the STAR benchmark assessment, identified through the STAR benchmark assessment. They receive additional intervention supports through our MTSS intervention tutoring as well. And I mentioned our high school A through G requirement. So a majority of our online high school courses are College Board A through G approved. And what A through G, these are courses that are rigorous college prep classes. Scholars follow a course pacing guide for assignments and successful completion. They need to have their major assessments, that's their midterm and their finals proctored from their, and those are within their Accelerate Ed courses. And they can attend any teacher's Q&A session during the semester. And then at the end of each semester, we do have what we call kind of a finals week. We provide more opportunities to have proctoring sessions and more days available and more times available, because we want to make sure that all of our scholars are successful. And then part of our A through G is that scholars attend those weekly learning labs and Q&A support with the subject matter expert, so they can really dive into that content and master those standards. Okay, and I had mentioned earlier, we have our academic support team. This here is our wonderful, awesome, and many of you probably know this group of women, our academic support team. We have Miss Dawn Lothringer. She is our scholar support coordinator. She also helps oversee our scholars that have Section 504 plans. Miss Melissa Mayer is our scholar success coordinator, and that she helps with our all things multiple tiered system of support and our intervention tutoring. And then we have Miss Chrissy Saez, who is our English language support coordinator, and then she helps oversee all things support for our English learners. And then we have our great resource specialists, Miss Campisi, Miss Solens. We have our EL tutors, Miss Hernandez and Miss Lopez, and our intervention tutors, which is Miss Mejia, Miss Pearsall, and Miss Sylvia. And of course, they are all led by our awesome director of academic support, Miss Erin Smith. And this is a group, this team here, they are relentless and they want to support scholars. They have made significant strides in all of the things that they do to support our Compass scholars. And we are so grateful that we have the support team that makes Compass unlike other schools like ours. So for academic support, like I mentioned, we have three main focuses. The first one is our scholar success focus, and that's our multi-tiered system of support. And our multi-tiered system of support targets behavioral, social, emotional, and academic supports. And then we have our intervention tutors for our tier 2 and tier 3 scholars who need additional intervention as identified through the STAR benchmark assessments in ELA and math. And then they're able to take an in-depth look at those foundational skills at the tier 2 level to really help bridge any of those learning gaps. And then, like I mentioned, we have our scholar support, and that's Miss Lothringer. And she helps with our SST process, which is our student study team process. So if you do have a scholar and you're like, I think that there's just something, needs a little help. I'm trying to figure out the best way to support them. Reach out to your supervising teacher. Your supervising teacher could pull the team together and coordinate those efforts and hold that meeting. With Ms. Lothringer's support. And then, of course, she helps with the 504 process. And then she also supports programs and supervising teachers with referrals and ongoing accommodations and supports, especially for the scholars with 504, Section 504 plans. And then Ms. Saya is our English language support coordinator. She helps identify our scholars she helps with our scholars who are identified as English language learners, and she also helps support our LPAC completion and testing that our English language learners need to complete every year. And our main focus is to help reclassify our English language learners and so they can continue to find success in their education. We also use Lexia Online for our designated ELD curriculum or English language development curriculum. And we do have the live support sessions for our English language scholars with our English language tutors. And I'm not going to brag too much, but our scholars love their English language tutors. They just love them and they like spending time with them and they love learning with them. We have a dynamic group of tutors. For more details, though, our Scholar Success open house is on the 28th at 10 a.m. And then our English language support department is hosting their open house on the 28th at 1 in English. And then we'll hold another open house session on the 28th at 7 p.m. And that session will be presented in Spanish. And next is our awesome assessment team. We have Miss Beth Sneed. She is our assessment and data coordinator. Miss Carrie Badascu, who is our assessment specialist. Mr. Navredi, who is our data specialist. and Miss Erica Angelo. Some of you might recognize her. She's one of our also one of our online middle school teachers. She is our assessment TOSA, and this is our dream team of assessment and our assessment department. They help to organize all of our STAR benchmark, all of our CASP testing, they help with our, organize all of our LPAC, all of our physical fitness, all things assessment. And then they help the teachers, they help provide the data for the teachers to identify a lot of those gaps with scholar learning, and then help them, with that data. That's when we can start that planning, and we can start providing additional resources for scholar learning. So this is our assessment and data team. And our assessment, we have our academic assessments include our diagnostic assessment, which is the STAR benchmark assessment that's administered 3 times a year. We have scholars take it in the fall and in the winter and at the end of the school year, so they can showcase and demonstrate all that growth throughout the year. And what that does is it provides information on scholar academic progress and ensures that scholars are receiving appropriate supports, and that data helps the teachers to know what is going to be appropriate. And it helps guide instruction based on scholar strengths and needs. We also have our SBAC state testing, and that helps us with our college and career readiness indicator on the California dashboard. We have to have 95% participate in our CASP testing, and that includes alternative CASP and is required to encourage school success. And then our participation in CASP contributes to our charter renewal. We know what we do here at Compass is amazing. We provide a unique experience for scholars to leverage the flexibility of a quality online program, and we want to continue to do that. So having scholars participate in our CASP testing helps us do that, especially for when we look at charter renewal. And then what testing is not used for, it is not a grade. It's not based for assigning grades, grade level placement. It's not a placement test. It's really data for us to see how we can best support scholars and help them grow. It does not determine graduation eligibility, and we do not distribute individual scholar data beyond our Compass family. So it stays in-house with our internal, especially with our, within all of our assessments, and we really use it as intended to help us drive our instruction and to help best support scholars. And then our assessments open house is, I'm sorry, Miss McAlpine, if you can go back one more slide. I missed that piece. There we go. Our assessment open house, sorry about that, is Thursday the 24th. That's this Thursday at 10 a.m. So if you want to learn more about our assessments, our assessment department, please make sure to attend their open house Thursday at 10 a.m. And then I had mentioned this before, but we are an AVID school. And I am very passionate about AVID, in that advancement via individual determination. And what that is it provides teacher strategies to help scholars, with their writing, with their inquiry, with their reading, with organization, and with the collaboration. And our AVID school-wide instruction started at the 2019-2020 school year. And that encompass all of our K through 12 teachers implement AVID instructional strategies school-wide. And our instructional strategies focus on what we call WICR. And you see that little icon, that star icon at the bottom, which is, which focuses on reading and writing strategies, as well as developing habits of mind and organization, which is key, especially for our independent study learners. We offer, in addition to those instructional strategies, we offer an AVID elective, and our AVID elective is for scholars in grades 6 through 10. And in our high school scholars, our AVID 9 and 10, it's also A through G approved. In the AVID elective, scholars receive academic support during weekly learning labs and AVID tutorial sessions. And this is where academic skills are developed and college and career pathways are explored. We know that sometimes college isn't the right path, so this gives them a career pathway and vice versa. And Avid also provides academic supports, which include study skills, organization, goal setting, time management, and making connections to academic accountability and achievement. And here is our fantastic school counseling team led by Ms. Deborah Steffen, who is our Director of Counseling Services. We have Ms. Ayala, Ms. Bateman, Mr. Duarte, Ms. Olson, who is our College and Career Readiness Counselor, Mr. Samples, and Ms. Schwartzberg. This is our counseling dream team. All scholars in grades 6 through 12 will be assigned a counselor based on their last name. Their counselor helps them with their course planning, helps especially with our high schoolers, helps them make sure that they're on track for graduation. In addition, our counseling staff is so great in that they provide weekly counseling learning labs. They're also always willing to help and meet with scholars. They are great at helping scholars set goals as well and being organized. So our counselors work with our scholars in several ways. The first way is they help with academic development, and that is in the form of academic planning and goal setting. They also, like I mentioned, are a great resource to help scholars with time management and organizational skills. Another way in which they support scholars is through social emotional development. And that is creating positive relationships with scholars and adults, helping scholars create positive relationship with other scholars and adults too. Helping scholars with coping skills, overcoming obstacles, and they also can provide some small group interaction and support and check-ins. They also help with college and career development, and that is they help with college and career activities, post-secondary planning, which is life after high school, concurrent enrollment, and work permits. Those are all provided by our college and career counselor. And our college and career counselor also works with scholars in small groups. And of course, like I mentioned, we have our counseling learning labs. These are delivered through grades 6 through 12. And we also have our Compass Counseling Office for time that will help with our Compass Counseling Office for times and locations and topics. You can visit that website. And then this is also shared weekly in our Monday morning update, or the MMU. And so for more details on our counseling department, I encourage you guys to attend the counseling department open house on this Friday, August 25th at 10 a.m. And of course, our engagement department. Our engagement department is led by Ms. Rebecca McAlpine. She's our director of engagement. Many of you have probably met her, and she is our all things engagement. She is our cheerleader for our scholars, and she has such a passion behind knowing when our scholars are engaged in all things Compass that they thrive. And we're so grateful for the engagement department to help provide that for all of our scholars, regardless of program. She also has help from Miss Danielle Del Negro, who's our engagement coordinator. And then can't wait to introduce in the upcoming weeks our orientation coordinator. We provide orientations for our programs for new families, but if you ever feel like you just want a refresher, you're more than welcome to attend one of our orientations weekly and get a refresher, ask maybe some questions, and kind of make sure that everybody's on the same page. So our engagement department, they offer a variety of great opportunities for scholars to really become part of our Compass family in addition to their schoolwork. They organize awesome field trips, great events, virtual scholar workshops, scholar recognition, our scholar celebrations. They also provide our Learning Coach Academy. If you have the opportunity to attend Learning Coach Academy, I strongly encourage it. It's a great opportunity to meet other learning coaches and get to learn about the best ways to support your scholar. They also host weekly orientations, and of course these weeks of welcome. And then, of course, Scholar Clubs, make sure you save the date because signups for Scholar Clubs are going to be on Friday, August 25th at the Engagement Department's open house. And then we'll have our back to school picnic, save the date for September 20th. And so if you would like to learn more about our engagement department, you can attend the engagement department open house at the end of this week. And that is on Friday at 1 p.m. And our next department is our amazing IT department. Now, one of the great things about our IT department here at Compass is it is a Compass IT department. We are not going to have you talk with anybody else except one of our Compass staff. So here we have Mr. David Brash. He is our director of IT. We have Marco, who is our help desk technician, and Mr. Aguilar, who is our systems administrator. One of the great things that our IT department has that I strongly encourage if you ever have a hiccup is to fill out one of their IT help desk tickets. And we'll take a look at some of those other things that our IT department offers. They do recommend to install updates as prompted because this helps with security and performance. To reboot weekly. This helps with audio problems, error messages, and if the computer stops responding. And don't forget, don't be subject to phishing or spam messages. Do not attempt to open links or attachments unless you know who the sender is. Do not provide login information to anybody. One of the great things that they provide, like I was saying, is they have their help desk ticket, which is really, really helpful. They are so fast at answering those tickets. I don't know how they do it. They're efficient and they are fast. And if you want to get the fastest remedy to an IT issue is to complete one of the IT help desk tickets. You can also find that link. Thank you. It is in the chat box. And then the link directly into School Pathways, and of course our single sign-on, which is ClassLink, are all there. They're also all on our website under our Scholar Learning Coach supports, and under our IT section under on our website. And then our Scholar Community Advocate, her name is Ms. Gonzalez, and she supports our homeless and foster youth, scholars and their families. She supports new and current military families, since we are a Purple Star school. She can provide resources to families facing homelessness or at risk for homelessness. All of the information that is shared with Ms. Gonzalez is confidential and is shared only with the appropriate staff. And she can also help refer to community resources such as food pantries, housing, mental health, and other community referrals. She also speaks Spanish, which has been really helpful as well. Her contact information is there. So if you would like to just go directly to Ms. Gonzalez, you're more than welcome to. You're also welcome to reach out to your supervising teacher who can put you in contact with Ms. Gonzalez as well. And then our special education leadership team, they are led by Miss Amy Foodie, who is our Director of Special Education, Miss Jeffries, who is our Special Education Coordinator, and Miss Sharma, who is also our Special Education Coordinator. And at Compass, our scholars with IEPs are general education scholars first. So all scholars are assigned a general education supervising teacher. And then our special education team is made up of specialized academic instructors that demonstrate the capacity to provide high quality special education services to scholars they serve. Compass Charter Schools provides all eligible children with a free public education that meets their individual needs. And as a learning coach, your role is to be an active participant by working with our educational specialist and related service providers to plan and monitor your child's unique program. Our learning coaches engage in engagement, especially with scholars who need a little extra help or have an IEP, is imperative to their success. And we at Compass welcome a partnership between our learning coaches and our ed specialists and our teachers. And of course, if you would like more information regarding our special education department, you can join our special education open house on Thursday, the 24th at 1 p.m. So what is next? So please be sure to attend your Scholars Weeks of Welcome orientation this week. Our online learning program orientation for scholars in grades K through 8 will be Tuesday, that's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Our online learning program orientation for scholars in grades 9 through 12 will be tomorrow, Tuesday, at 1 p.m. So K through 8 tomorrow at 10 and high school tomorrow at 1. And you'll use the same link as tonight to join that Weeks of Welcome orientation. Or WOW, our WOW orientations. During our WOW orientations, we'll be sharing a virtual back to school list with everything you'll need to be prepared for the upcoming school year. Make sure, oh, there we go. And then we'll make sure that there'll also be an opportunity for question and answer during those orientations, so you feel completely prepared to start the school year off on the right foot. So as mentioned, please join our WOW open houses for the online learning and other departments, and for more detailed information on those departments and our programs in the upcoming days. And you can see here is just the Weeks of Welcome, our WOW week 1 schedule. So this week we have welcome back nights, we have our orientation, as well as our departments and special program open houses. And here is a glimpse of our WOW week 2 schedule. So our Scholar Success and our English language departments will be providing our Compass families with some amazing information to ensure our scholars have a successful start to their school year. You'll notice this is right before school starts on the 28th. We want to make sure everybody is prepped and ready to go to have a great first day of school on the 29th. So make sure you attend those open houses so you can get all of those details, especially within our Scholar Success and our English language learners. And don't forget, our Scholar Leadership Council is always accepting new members. Our first meeting for our Scholar Leadership Council is Tuesday, September 13th at 2 p.m. And they are now accepting new applicants. So if anyone is interested, you can contact our CEO, Miss Elizabeth Brenner, and she would be happy to share additional information on what it takes to be part of our Scholar Leadership Council. And learning coaches, we have our Parent Advisory Council also accepting new applicants. And this is a great opportunity if you wanted to share some input or help to be part of the ideation phase and some of the great things that we offer here at Compass. Being part of our Parent Advisory Council is a great way to do that. Their first meeting is Friday, September 16th at 3 p.m. And if you're interested in participating in our Parent Advisory Council, you can also contact our CEO, Miss Elizabeth Brenner. And of course, don't forget to follow us on all of our awesome social media channels. On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and of course, you can always see our latest blogs and all of our information on our website. And I would like to thank you all for joining today. And I wish everybody, learning coaches included and scholars, a great 23-24 school year. My contact information is here. That is my direct line. You're more than welcome to call or text me on that line. And you can also find my email address there. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to reach out. Sometimes if I don't have the answer, I'll make sure I will find it for you, and I will make sure you have all that you need to have a great experience here at Compass.